Hi, this is a quick intro to a research journal that was assigned in class. And just like always, the handout that you can see on the screen is available in Schoology. And in the top right corner, you can see my example that I also shared in class. So this research journal, just like the first research journal, has the same exact format. You'll see that format running in the black box on the far left side. It tells you all the requirements. I'm going to move this screen for a second. So your theme this time is to select a 20th or 21st century contemporary visual artist. So when we say 20th to 21st century, we mean basically from 1901 forward, someone who is predominantly a strong visual artist. That could be a sculptor, a photographer, someone who is a sketch artist. It could be a tattoo artist, any type of artist. The big important thing is, one, they're someone who the most of their work was conducted from the 20th century on to modern day. And number two, they are someone who's created a large body of work. In other words, they didn't just draw one picture or paint one painting or do two or three sculptures. They are known for a large body of work that really shows their skill. That's what's most important in selecting the person that you want to have as an artist. It could be someone, as I said, who's a tattoo artist or someone who is a photographer, but they're someone that has a large body of work, someone you could find easily on the internet. Maybe they even have a portfolio. If they're still living, they might have a portfolio of work that you could find online. Again, in the black box running on the left-hand side of your screen, you're going to see that you need to have 3 works of art that you've created. So in this, I know it's a flat work on a screen, so it's hard to tell. This painting of Jimmy Law's work, I recreated this painting here, and then this small sketch. So you'll notice, don't use the word copy. I say instead that you should take over and use the spirit or the mood of that artist's work. So for example, this portrait that I did that's in the style of Jimmy Law, he had a portrait done that was similar, but his portrait had hair and it had a little bit more details and it had a neck and a bunch of other things. So I just did a segment of Jimmy Law's work. So I try to do it in the spirit, in the nod of his work, but I didn't do an exact replica photocopy. Most of it's the same. This is nearly the same as one of Jimmy Law's work, but again, I tried to do some of the sketch marks that I saw in some of his other work, and I tried to make them show up in my sketchbook. And this is not anything like his work other than he did a face similar to this in a painting. So I pretended that what might his beginning sketch might have looked like. And so I did a sketch on a piece of tracing paper. You can see it there. So just like all of our research journals, a minimum of 3 works of art that you've created that are in the style of that artist. You'll notice that I did 2 of them in painting. One of them I did in pencil. You'll notice that they have full value. In other words, you'll see shading or value either done in pencil or done in paint in both of these. So they would meet the criterion that's in the black box at the top. Number 2, there is mark making. So I looked at a lot of Jimmy Law's work and noticed that he used a lot of the same color palette, this sort of soft gray and earthy blue, and even this sort of earthy mustardy yellow. So I did some streaks and a painting style similar to some backgrounds I saw that he did. So I tried to understand the type of marks that he made as an artist, and I used those as my backdrop. I also have other images of Jimmy Law's work that I put into a Google Doc. So you actually see I did 3 of the exact same. So I made 3 copies of the same image so I could make somewhat of a little pattern. And then I used annotated notes. So you'll notice my annotated notes are randomly throughout on there. I've given you a little bit of information about him. Now, interesting, just so you know, because I too have to problem solve. Originally, when I wrote my annotated notes, I did them in this pen and I did them actually on the painted area, and it didn't show up very well. And it didn't feel like it really kind of gave you a chance to read easily what was there. So I picked a pink piece of paper and a yellow piece of paper, similar to the style of stuff I saw him do. He used that fuchsia-y pink color in his paintings. So I picked that color from the classroom. And then I decided that I would put a piece of it behind the sketch that was here that was also difficult to see. So I actually have annotated notes on there twice, once underneath, and then I did them again correctly up above. You'll see also on there that I have various textures and I have other images, as I said. So this is a photocopy. These are photocopies. This is a photocopy. So basically it's organized notes about Jimmy Law. One of the other images you can see in the background, I did Jean-Michel Basquiat. Basquiat is a popular 80s artist. You could see I have a student work there that was done. And then there's a small one of Henry Moore, who was a well-known abstract sculptor. So both of these examples are perfect examples of what I'm looking for. Remember that you need to have a giant title, ideally as a question. So it's hard to see in here, but it asks you, who is Jimmy Law? And then I have the name there, so you can see that I have an inquiry question, kind of like in the form of Jeopardy. And then I answer the question by giving you the annotated notes. This is due in class. You'll see the due date posted on the whiteboard in class, or you can ask me. You'll also see it listed in Schoology when this work is due. You will have in-class time to work on it, but please make sure that you follow all the directions.